I'm going to welcome back to the third and final segment for Coalition Wars, Siege on Tolkeen, Final Siege. In this video, we are going to talk about the leadership of Tolkeen, their backgrounds, their motivations, and why they were there, what they were doing, and what turned Tolkeen from a hopeful, magical society to a I don't know, a black blood oozing pustule on the face of the earth. Well, we're going to find out right now. And we're going to start with, from the top, King Robert Creed.
Okay, that name's just boring.
It is. But he was a cool dude.
No, but you know what? Cool but I actually liked. I mean, that's a normal sounding person name. I'm okay with that. You know, he's not King Flavius of.
Yeah, Flavius of Octavian Nausicus.
Yeah, right.
Okay, dude. Thanks. All right. Robert Leonard Creed was born in Tolkeen 53 years ago when it was still an independent city and the embodiment of a dream. A place where people of all races and backgrounds could live together in relative peace. Here, magic and learning was embraced, and young Robert embraced it as well. Highly intelligent, creative, and imaginative, Robert Creed excelled in many areas, but poetry, history, math, and magic were his favorites. Robert decided to become a Leyland Walker, and at the young age of 22, was nominated to the Circle of 12. The Circle of 12 is kind of like the steering committee.
It's Morton Caden's Circle of 8. Come on.
Yeah, basically, yes. It was just not his magical skills that made him a candidate, but his creative way of thinking, ability to see the big picture, and powers to get things done. And not only done, but often finding a better way to do it. Robert Creed was also incredibly charming and charismatic, winning friends and favor among people in high places, and showing great natural aptitude as a resourceful leader and clever strategist. But even Robert was stunned when nominated to the inner circle of Tolkien's leaders. He was elected and distinguished himself in the 10 years he served as one of the 12. So much so that he was appointed the new king at age 33, shortly after the aging ruler of Tolkien died of a mysterious
illness. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Whenever kings die of a mysterious illness, you gotta know what happened. I mean, he didn't do it, but it was done for him, basically. Robert Creed started life as an energetic, enthusiastic idealist with the ability to make many of his dreams come true. Since he had his finger on the pulse of Tolkien society, his dreams were the reflection of those dreamt by the people. This made him one of the most widely respected and popular kings to take in the throne. Working closely with the Circle of 12 and inspiring other leaders and common folk alike, he helped to bring the kingdom to a new age of achievement, learning and prosperity. Years of progress that garnered the attention of the world and attracted DBs, practitioners of magic, and people of learning to the kingdom in record numbers each successive year. The city of Tolkeen and the region around it had become a boomtown.
So, hold on, I got to get the inspirational music behind this. I can do this. Chill, lo-fi lounge, minimal house, future pop, love, classical, epic. Here we go, epic. I'm going to put some epic music in here right now. All right, Heathen Dog.
All right. Tolkien's new success and explosive growth also caught the burning eyes of Chi-Town or Chi-Town, whatever you want to call it, who recognize a kingdom of monsters growing on their doorstep. The city of Tolkeen and clusters of smaller DB towns and farms that existed in Minnesota for nearly 100 years. And earlier statements predate that. The problem was that this cluster of rabble was turning into something different. It was turning into a real nation with the long-time city-state of Tolkeen and Freehold, City of Dragons, at its core. That made it more dangerous than ever. In the past, CS raids and purges into the region helped to frighten away prospective settlers, but around 80 PA, such tactics had become less effective. With the rise of the new king, Robert Creed, in 89 PA, nothing seemed to stop the deluge of misanthropes and mages pouring into the region in greater numbers with every passing year. Moreover, this king was quick to challenge CS aggression. An increased coalition military presence along Tolkien's borders.
Gosh, such a bad joke.
Prompted King Creed to build the largest army in the nation's history. Tolkeen border patrols became routine and skirmishes between the rival powers more frequent. King Creed took a hard line against CS imperial aggression, so when the coalition became more intrusive and brutal, Tolkien's forces responded in kind. When the coalition increased its military presence, so did Tolkien. When one attacked, the other retaliated.
Wait, do you think that you're going to out-aggress the coalition?
That was his plan. And that is what changed this man. That's what changed him. It took a generation, but looking back, all-out war was inevitable. There can be no doubt that the coalition state was the aggressor and instigator. Neither Tolkien nor any of the smaller communities did anything to start trouble and kept to themselves. Although the old American state of Iowa is claimed by Chi-Town, much of it is wilderness and farmland, so there was little in jeopardy from the predominantly peaceful kingdom of Tolkien, even if they did transgress. True, DBs and practitioners of magic traveled through Iowa, but they never challenged CS domination, nor tried to seize the land for themselves. Squatters, bandits, raiders, and vagabonds are found everywhere on Earth, Iowa and Tolkien included. However, the coalition chose to see every vagrant, every incident involving sorcerers, everything involving non-humans, no matter how inconsequential, as some sort of provocation from Tolkien. That's how you do it, boys. That's how
non-humans are weapons of mass destruction, right?
Exactly. Now, this is the background. This is why the fight is happening. Now, I want to look at Robert Creed himself. He started off, look at this. He started off his alignment.
Scrupulous.
But politics, war, pride, and hate have turned him to aberrant evil.
Well, at least he's got a code. You know what?
Yeah. This is what happens to a man who has the ability to be a good king, but not the temperament of a good king. He could not stop himself from getting personally slighted every time the coalition jabbed him with propaganda nonsense. Because that's all the coalition did. Skirmishes and then blame Tolkien. Found a sorcerer somewhere, blame Tolkien. Found a ley line walker walking around, killed him, lied about it, said he was capturing children and sacrificing them to Tolkien gods. Blame Tolkien. He took all of this personally, and it changed him. It slowly, over the course of 20 years, changed him into a completely different person. Someone who could no longer stop himself when a younger version would know that this is going too far. This is too evil. This is too dangerous. This is too brutal. He couldn't see that anymore. He could only see vengeance. He could only see destruction and pain to the coalition. That was primarily why Tolkien fell. I mean, in the last segment, I said General Holmes. Yeah, it wouldn't have even gotten to that point if he was able to pull himself back. But he couldn't. Now, you're thinking, wait a minute. What about this Council of 12? This advisory council and steering committee for Tolkien, who's supposed
sycophants. All of them are sycophants.
Well, no, they're not sycophants. They are disgustingly evil themselves. Most of them are awful. Let's look at the Circle of 12. Warlord Corin Scarred.
Well, when it starts off with Warlord?
Yeah, starts off with Warlord. Can't be great, right? He started out as anarchist, became aberrant, and is currently diabolic.
Wow, that's a flip.
Yeah.
Apparently that code didn't work out for him.
No, didn't work out at all. And so that's one of the 12. Let's look at another one.
She looks cute.
Meta Electus. She's, yeah. Yeah, need some cream. So what is she like? Anarchist. Well, that's no help. That's not going to bring the king back from the brink, right? That's going to be like
push him into it more.
Yeah, I wonder what he does. This will be fun. Malik Savant. Well, let's see about this guy. Hey, look, he's scrupulous. Oh my God, the voice.
How did they
of
not
reason?
off him yet?
Let's see what happens. Malik Savant is the youngest of the Circle of 12.
Oh.
Oh, he hasn't been there very long.
Yeah, and
That's why.
they're using him.
Yeah, they're using him. He's a spirited, good-hearted individual, brimming with ideas, high ideals, and a sense of wonder that cannot be contained. To him, the world is a dynamic place of endless possibilities and potential. He's a noob.
Yep.
That's it.
They're manipulating the crap out of him.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It was yeah, he's the newest, so he has no real authority. I mean, sure, he's on the 12, but out of the 12, he's number 12. Right? So that's not helping. Well, let's see about something else here. What else we got? Who else we got here? Ba'artuk Kaor. Pronounced Bear Rock Crow. Really? That's how you pronounce that?
No, I'm going to use the letters that you put in there.
Yeah.
It's like jalapeno is jalapeno. If you want it spelled, pronounced jalapeno, spell with an H.
Yeah, there you go. So let's see about this guy. I mean, the name doesn't sound great, but let's see. He's a great horn dragon. Oh, a Baron Evil. Oh, damn it. Striving to become unprincipled. Well, good luck, brother. Going from a Baron Evil to unprincipled is quite the trek. Good luck. That's not happening today. So a Baron Evil. Ah, damn it. That's another bad one.
How do you strive to become unprincipled?
Yeah, if
I'm
you're
hoping
a Baron
one
Evil,
day to be an
you're just
outstanding.
striving not to become diabolic. Anya Svetska.
Got a Ruski in here.
Got a Ruski. And let's see. What is she? Alignment. Scrupulous with leanings toward unprincipled as she becomes disillusioned in people and especially the authorities. She has just reasons for seeing the CS as an enemy, but she has never sanctioned murder or atrocities like the Sorcerer's Revenge in Book 3. In fact, she tried to step down from the Circle of 12 after getting word about the slaughter that took place after the Sorcerer's Revenge, but was talked into staying to help the greater good of the people. She has no love for the Daemon X or the monster squads that are like demon squads that are to torture people and murder them and tear off their faces.
Look at that strength.
42 supernatural. That's crazy. That's crazy talk. And she's human. She has MDC plus she has regular MDC. She is an advanced. Oh, she's a mystic Kuznia. You got to look at Mystic Russia.
You know what?
Details.
There you
That's
go.
probably,
See, that's how you sell a book right there.
Yeah. Yeah. What, a human with 146 MDC naked? Wow, I want to be a Mystic Kuznia. That's great. I got to buy that book. Okay, so we got two scrupulous people. We have one who is the lowest rung on the ladder and another one who tried to bail. Neither of these people are going to have the ear of the king. You have a possible deserter and a noob. Okay, so far so bad. Let's keep
Got a few
going.
more to go though.
Clarissa.
She looks happy.
Clarissa Trenshire. Okay, this sounds good.
Weird looking legs,
nice at least, right? So let's see. Anarchist with leanings toward a Baron Evil. Ah, oh,
how do you see? I don't know. Maybe I'm reading this, but anarchist to me is like almost the exact opposite of aberrant or Baron.
Well, think about it. If you are around, a Baron Evil and Diabolic Evil, a Baron Evil looks good by comparison.
Right, no, I mean, but Miscreant and Diabolic are both like, well, I mean, I consider them basically nutsoids. I also consider Anarchist to be somewhat nutsoid. Aberrant is, no, that person has a code. If it wasn't for the fact that he's just an evil jerk-off, he could almost be considered good.
Yeah. I think that if you are in a position of power and your position requires some kind of rule set, you would probably adopt a more rules-oriented outlook because it's beneficial to you. You wouldn't want anarchy if you're in charge, right? Think of it that way. It kind of makes more sense. I mean, like I said, you got to squint, tilt your head a little bit, but it starts making sense if you do that. So no help there. Denwyn Ironheart. That sounds like a hero's name, right? Ironheart. I mean, that's a good guy name. Look at this guy. Oh, wait, he's a golem. All right.
Is that supposed to be Iron Man in pants?
No, he's an actual golem. He's a guy who put his body inside a golem,
Oh.
and it's slowly turning him insane. He was aberrant with and he's now aberrant with leanings towards diabolic. But he's going insane through lack of physical sensation. Mortals were meant to feel things, and he can't feel things anymore. So he's slowly going nutter butters. So again, no help. God damn it, man. This is just set up for failure. What else we got? Oh, we have this Dragon King looking guy, Rostigor Durgrola. That probably not going to end up well. Hey, you know what? He could be a good guy. Oh, aberrant. Okay. Nope. Also evil. Alien winged reptilian giant. All right. That sounds great.
You know, this
So
is
far,
making
so
me
bad.
want to join the coalition.
Yeah. Salkind, the metal mage.
Sounds
Okay,
like an
the metal
anime.
mage. Is this a robot magic user? This is crazy.
Wait, what?
During the early stages, what is he? Bizarre shifter. Oh, it's a shifter. That makes sense. Never mind. Moving on. Obviously evil. Oops, miscreen evil. Yep. Classic shifter. Miscreen evil. So, no help there. Awesome. Let's keep going. There's got to be some voice of reason.
Okay, just look at his outfit. No, you can just move on. His last name's Kilster, and
Yep.
it's Clister, I know. But and just look at his outfit. You know there's no help there. All right, move on.
We got to look.
You're fair.
Okay. Alignment, miscreant, but the rest of the circle mistakenly believes he is unprincipled. Miscreant. You know what? That's not horrible. I mean, it's pretty self-serving. Sure. In fact, it's probably self-serving enough to where he would probably suck up the spoils, and when it's going to go pear-shaped, he bounces. Oh, wait, that's exactly what he did. When he saw Tolkeen was definitely going to fall, he bounced. Okay. No help there. Self-serving douchebag. All right. Copy that. Okay. Queda the Grey, an old man. Okay. Voice of reason. Elder.
Wait, can you zoom in
Listen
on
to
that?
your elders.
Can you zoom in on that? What does he look like? But
looks like
with his zoomed out, it was. He looked like he had predator tentacles coming out of his mouth
Oh,
or something.
no. That's a beard. That's a beard.
Oh, okay. Okay, I see it now.
Yeah. Queda the Grey. Okay. Queda the Grey. There you go. Scrupulous. Human scrupulous. That's it. Now we have someone who could have talked some sense into the king. Let's see what
he was taking a nap.
Maybe he needed some more Mucinex. I don't know. One might think it odd for a peaceful old gray seer to serve Tolkeen, especially now that the Mage Nation has become corrupt and warlike, but not Queda the Grey. The kindly old sage of Tolkeen has long been a voice of reason and wisdom, offering his insight to any problem the nation faces. King Creed considers Queda one of the most trusted and reliable advisors, and Queda likewise feels the king is a noble and good man.
Oops.
Even if he has some moral lapses as of late. Some moral lapses? Dude. Queda has known and warned about the siege on Tolkeen for years. He has foreseen the low-level combat that preceded the invasion, as well as the siege itself, the Sorcerer's Revenge, and the final siege when the Coalition returns and destroys Tolkeen. Queda had long believed that Tolkien's fate was almost impossible to change. It was his duty to try. Thus, he has been a loud and persuasive voice of reason and pacifism that for many years helped to keep Tolkien stay on a more or less peaceful track. Okay, he has been doing his job. He has been trying to stop the death of the country he loves for years. Let's see what his efforts amounted to. As things heated up with the coalition, the king and his people gradually grew tired of Queda's peaceful philosophy. They wanted revenge, to strike back at the most hated enemy, the coalition states. They wanted blood, not kind words. And so Queda fell from being one of the kingdom's most respected voices to being called a doddering old fool in the eyes of the public, discredited and ignored.
This is what happens when the media goes after you.
Yep. Fake news, baby. Fake news. How about Maxium Current? like maximum current, high
Oh.
voltage.
I don't. He's got a gun, and he looks more like. Doesn't look like he belongs on the 12.
No, he doesn't look like he belongs on any council of mages anywhere. But you know what? Let's see. Let's see. He could be a voice of reason. Let's find out. And diabolic.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That tracks.
I mean, he's got skulls on his shoulder. Either
Yeah,
he's
he's got skulls
coalition
on
or
his
he's
shoulder,
diabolic.
so, you know, he's not going to be principled. But I was hoping for something less than absolute trash. But no, he's absolute trash. And that's it. That is who was counseling the king. So we have the voices of reason on the council. Out of all 12 members, there are only 3. 1, the noob, 12th rung on a 12-rung ladder. No one's listening to his ass. 2, someone who tried to resign, lost all credibility. And 3, an old man who propaganda has turned into what the people believe is a pacifistic old fool. So there are no credible voices of reason left on the Council of 12 to keep the king in check. And so he went off the rails, and Tolkeen suffered for it. That's what happened. And knowing this, the game master knowing this in the beginning of the campaign would definitely help him shape it in a way that makes it more fleshed out and fulfilling to the players. I understand why Kevin believes this should have been in book 1. I get it. Now, what should have happened is their initial alignments and thoughts should have been in book 1, and in every subsequent book be updated to their new thoughts, their new alignments, their new views.
Or meet him a little later than book 1 as the players are doing more things on the outskirts, because they're probably not going to be dealing with these people right away. But book 2, 3, 4, somewhere in there, bring them to the forefront where they're becoming more desperate.
Sure. And that's where we're going to stop, because this is a campaign, and I've given a lot of spoilers already, but nothing really for the adventure for the player. But reading on would spoil some of the actual adventures in this campaign, and I don't want to do that.
So don't ask the question I have about the Atlanteans I see on the screen?
Yeah, don't ask questions.
Okay.
No, you don't see that.
Okay.
All right, what do we have for?
I just pinned 2. So when are we getting Rifts Aftermath, the most important book of the Siege on Tolkeen? At this point, I'd kind of like him to go in order with these.
Yeah, I probably want to go from 1 to 6. So this is 6. So 1 to 5, and then move on to the Aftermath type thing at that point.
And then, well, okay, I guess if Aftermath comes after this one, that's not such a big deal. But Heathen Dog isn't going to be doing a lot of riffs coming up in the future.
Yeah,
because
I'm going to be doing AD&D 2nd Edition complete read-through of the Player's Guide starting in 3 weeks.
Yeah, starting whenever we come back.
Whenever we come back and Kevin's not here.
And I'll talk about that after we get through this video here, but for those who missed it at the beginning. But yeah, I mean, you're going to find a little bit less, well, you're going to find a lot less Rifts content. You're going to find a little bit less Palladium content as we go forward, because he's much more involved with that than I am, and the things that I follow from Palladium either don't exist anymore, are coming back soon, or don't have a lot of source books to them. And then, for whatever reason, my wife had to jump in. Guess I'm not pretty enough for Max's expectations.
What?
Well, because I said for that old chick up.
Oh, the old chick? Yeah, okay. All right. Well, don't worry. You are going to age too.
Yeah, at some point Japanese people age. We just haven't found it yet.
When Japanese people hit between 50 and 60, that's when they really start aging.
Bob the hair and get that hunch over. The osteoporosis kicks in.
Yep. I mean, hey, you're not Latina, so it's later than 40. You know, between 35 and 45, the internal Latina bomb goes off, and then it's just a genetic disaster land.
So now with those stereotypes out of the way, this is a little more interesting than I thought it would be. To be fair, I still have a lot of questions, but that's because I'm not the Rifts aficionado here. But maybe we can cover those sometime in the future. I will have to wait many, many moons, though, for that. Or maybe some of the stuff that I cover will touch upon this as well, because I will still be doing some Rifters. We got that kind of unwritten deal where, we'll do at least one a month. But to be honest, for the Palladium folks out there, when he starts covering AD&D 2nd Edition, I'm going to be doing a lot of AD&D 2nd Edition content as well. He's going to do, like, the main content. I'm going to do some of the splat. And then I'm going to mix in some Rifters and so forth with it. So, but, all right, what are your, where's my little thingy here? What are your questions, comments, concerns? What do you think about the Siege on Tolkeen, particularly number 6? Are you happy with the Council of 12? Are you looking forward to siding with how many of the Council of 12 lived? I don't know. But you know what? If you play through it, you might find out. Are they all bug fodder right now? Did they run to the Federation of Magic? Are they down south trying to harvest some vampires? You don't know.
They went to Dinosaur Swamp, damn it.
They went to Dinosaurs. Yeah, trying to hit one of those time rifts that brought them back to when the world was pure and young.
There you go.
But please like, subscribe, and share for more content like this, and look forward to talking to people in the future.